What's up, Smash fans? Welcome back to Smash. Let's just go with it being Saturday today. So, as of it being Zelda Month, Alcibiades20 has a little Zelda flavor he'd like to throw onto our Smash Saturdays. So, give him a listen.
Growing up, two of the most prominent games in my life were Smash Bros. Melee and Zelda Majora's Mask. Smash Bros. Was the first game I played, and the first game me and my brother really bonded over. And Majora's Mask was the first game that taught me games can be more than just killing bad guys. They can be intense and thought-provoking narratives, long before I even knew what intense and thought-provoking meant. So, any normal, rational human being would jump on the Skull Kid hype train and make a Smash Bros. Moveset for Skull Kid to introduce this series to a wider audience. But that's boring. And quite frankly, Skull Kid wouldn't be my first pick to represent Majora's Mask, because to me, he doesn't capture what made Majora's Mask such a good game. By Alsa Blades, I hear you typing in the comments. Quite literally represents What could possibly represent better than that? First of all, it's Alsa by D's, but if you want, you can just call me Al. Secondly, that's probably the mindset of Nintendo. I'd bet actual money that if Sakurai was to announce any Majora's Mask characters, it would probably be Skull Kid. Yet, I feel the character I chose does a better job at representing the game, because he puts the mask in Majora's Mask. The more perceptive of you probably know where I'm going with this, because you read the title! My most wanted Zelda character for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and the one I think that would represent Majora's Mask the best, is the Happy Mask Salesman. And every one of his moves, every single one of his moves, represents a mask. You're welcome, world. Before we begin, I would like to start off by saying this. Every time the salesman does an attack, with the exception of two of his moves, he will equip a mask. For example, if he had a move involving the couple's mask, while performing that move, he will equip the couple's mask, but when the move is complete, the couple's mask will disappear. In the case of Transformation Mask, he will just wear the mask, he will not transform. With all that out of the way, let's kick this off with the specials. All of his specials are callbacks to the Transformation Mask. Starting with the Neutral special, this comes from the Fierce Deity Mask. He uses a double helix blade, swinging it in a downward motion, creating a sword beam, which can stun on contact. This is very similar to Cloud's Neutral special, but won't do as much damage, yet it can stun for longer. Next, the Side special, which comes from the Zora's Mask. He throws out two fins that travel and do damage, just like Link's Boomerang or Simon's Cross, except these do more damage in exchange for a smaller range. Also, while the fins are out, the Happy Mask Salesman can't move, similar to how Zora Link can't do much when his fins are thrown out. Moving along, we have the Down special, taken from the Goron's Mask. The salesman can curl up into a ball and roll around the stage, like in the game. You can change your direction using left and right. If you roll for long enough, spikes will appear on your back, and you'll be able to move a lot faster and do way more damage. But in exchange, it's a lot harder to control, and it makes it easier for you to fall off the edge. For his final special, we have his Up special and Recovery, which, believe it or not, represents the Deku's Mask. I know, big surprise. This sees our favorite salesman launching in the air and pulling out two flower copters, which he can then use to move left and right in the air for a short period of time. He can also end his flight early by pressing the B button, but after the flowers break, you can't move in the air, leaving you very vulnerable. Also, while launching, you can do damage to who's ever above you. The closer they are to you, the more damage is dealt. Next, we have the Jab, Dash, and Tilt attacks. Starting with his jab, which is the first exception to the mask rule. He will start with the first and second punch from the Goron mask, but he will not be wearing the Goron mask when he does them. Then he will transition to a spin kick, done when you do Camaro's dance in-game. Also, when he does the kick, Camaro's mask will be equipped. Next, we have the dash attack, which is in reference to the Gyarados mask. For the record, all the footage I have is from the original Majora's mask, so keep in mind the Gyarados mask will probably look like it does in the 3DS version. The dash attack has the salesman pull out two swords in the shape of an axe, charging towards the opponent, similar to how the Gyaro enemies attack you in-game. Next, we have the tilts. Starting with the forward tilt, this attack is a reference to the captain's head. This has the salesman swing at the opponent with the hand of a Stalfos in a similar way to Captain Kida in his boss fight. Moving along, we have the down tilt, which utilizes the mask as scent. The salesman will snort out a cloud of poisonous fumes in front of him. Now that I'm thinking about it, this kinda does the opposite of what the mask of scent is supposed to do.
And last, but certainly not least, is the up tilt, which is a reference to my favorite mask, the Keaton's mask. This has the Happy Mask Salesman raising his arms in the air in triumph. What, you don't get it? The reference is obvious. Wait, seriously? You don't get it? Well, you see, if you take a quiz from a Keaton, and you get the question right, the Keaton raises his arms in the air like he just won $1 million or something. Next is the aerials, and I mean, oh boy, if you thought I was reaching with the other attacks, you're in for a real treat.
First is the neutral aerial, which is a reference to the Don Gyarados mask. This has the salesman put his arms out to the side and raise them up and down, like some sort of Minecraft zombie. This is a reference to how Link conducts the frog choir at the end of the Don Gyarados side quest. Next is the forward aerial, which is a reference to the Romani's mask, where he takes a bottle of Chateau Romani and he chucks it. Why? Because alcohol is the root of all evil. Well, it's more like I kind of ran out of ideas.
His back aerial's kind of weird too. It's a reference to the postman's hat. The salesman would turn around and he swipes his opponent with the letter. Worst paper cut ever.
Moving down, we have the downward aerial, which makes way more sense than the previous two. This has the Happy Mask Salesman kicking down, like a march. This is an obvious reference to the Bremen's mask, where if you hit the action button, you do a little march. Next is the up aerial, which is a reference to the Circus Leader's mask. This has the Happy Mask Salesman thrust a pitchfork in the air. This is a reference to the Romani's Mask side quest, where two of the Gorman brothers are chasing after you and Crimea with pitchforks.
Moving on, we have the smash attacks, starting with the side smash, which is a reference to the prettiest mask in the game, the Great Fairy's mask.
This smash attack is very similar to his neutral special. Just replace the double helix blade with the Great Fairy's blade, get rid of the sword beam, and make the attack way stronger. And there you go. For those of you who don't know, the Great Fairy's blade is a reward for collecting every single stray fairy in Stone Tower Temple.
Because I am a creature of habit, the next attack is the down smash. This attack comes from the blast mask, which does exactly as it says it would. It makes an explosion around you. Just keep in mind, there is a short few seconds after the explosion where you can't move and your face is covered in soot. Finally, we have the up smash, which uses the Mask of Truth. This attack has a gossip stone launch in the air, like a rocket, just as it does in the games. Just keep in mind, while it's launching, you can't move, leaving you very open. Really quickly, I want to cover the grab, which comes from the Gypto mask. The salesman grabs you like a Gypto, and just throws you in any direction he chooses. I'm sure this move will scar many people for life. Finally, we have the final smash, which is the other move that doesn't follow the mask rule. The salesman can capture one player, sending them to a dark void. Then, a spotlight will shine on the Happy Mask Salesman,
sitting at his organ. He starts to play the Song of Healing, and as he does, the opponent enters a state of confusion. At the end of the song, the opponent will turn into a mask. Well, that wraps up all the moves. Now we have to deal with the taunts and the costumes. Starting with the side taunt, he equips the bunny hood and runs around in circles, ending with a ta-da pose. His down taunt uses the stone mask. He smiles at the camera, then he puts on the stone mask, making him disappear. Then, when he removes the mask, he reveals a much more disturbing and somewhat angry smile. And finally, his up taunt, which has him equipped the Giant's Mask, giving him the same pose Link does when he equips the Giant's Mask, making him look like some sort of Dragon Ball Z fighter. The last thing I have to cover are the costumes. There are 8 of them, including the base costume, and they are all references. First, the standard purple one, followed by a brownish red representing Deku Link, an orangish tan to represent Goron Link, and a bluish gray to represent Zora Link. There's also a black and white one to represent Fierce Deity Link, a purple and blue one to represent Kai-Fei, and a white, yellow, orange one to represent Romani. And finally, we have a yellow, orange, and green one in reference to Skull Kid. I'm glad this is finally finished. This took weeks to put together. Maybe now that I'm done, LePhillip will let me out of this dark dungeon. Hello? LePhillip? I'm done. Can I go home now? Okay, he's not responding. Well, if you liked the video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and all that other cliche stuff. And LePhillip and I will see you in the next video.